Okay. Anyway, in the movie Coming to America with Eddie Murphy, there's a scene where there's a man and two women sitting on a couch. They have their perm done to their hair, and they have their hair care products in their hair. And when they get up from the couch, they leave a circle stain on the on the couch. There's like these 3 circles on the couch. And I just thought that was such a funny scene. Now, the reason I'm talking about that is because the hair care product that was used in that scene is our guest on today's Musical Notes. And we are talking about Afro Sheen. And they're, when I was in high school, I used to actually use this stuff. I used to get in the mirror just like this and spray this stuff. And I had a little afro similar to this, not quite this big, but I had my little afro.
I mean, it's interesting because when I see like this product or like the use of it and all that stuff, it's like I don't hear about it anymore. They don't really talk about it. It's not like as big. It feels as though that after I saw that movie Coming to America, making fun of Afro Sheen and all that stuff.
Yeah.
For Jerry curls and whatnot.
Yeah, I was gonna lead to the Jerry curl, but this is what was called Afro Sheen. This was the product here, and it was very oily. You'd spray this stuff, or they have like this cream that they put on, and it was so oily, it's like pouring Crisco on your hair. And it would literally circle on a couch every time when you go to visit someone. And this Afro Sheen actually came out in the 1960s when the afro was popular in the African American community, like this young woman here. You look at like Soul Train or some of those early shows, and everybody had a fro. Or you look at Starsky and Hutch, and everybody had the little afro. That's just the way it was. But when the afro fell out of favor, that's when they had what was called the Jerry curl. This man right here is the creator of Afro Sheen. His name is George E. Johnson Sr. He's the one of the first African American entrepreneurs. He founded a company called Johnson Products. It's an international cosmetic empire, and there he is carrying some of his products here. And again, I used to use some of these products when I was in high school.
Did he create Ultra Sheen?
He created all the whole. I was going to lead up to it, yeah, but he created all of that stuff.
All the sheens.
The original. We're talking about the original,
right?
The original Afro Sheen.
Because I do remember from what, like just looking at the project and whatnot, I don't know if Afro Sheen is really as popular as always, but there's still a lot of Sheen type sprays that are still popular today.
Yeah, well, see, first of all, Johnson was born in Richton, Mississippi, and in 1944 he took a job in a cosmetic firm as a chemist, and then he and his wife Joan, we'll show her here in a little bit. There she is. When they were younger, they created a product called Ultra Wave, and what it was this cream that they had in a jar similar to this, like this. Is more primitive than this here. And what you would do is you would put it on your hair, because like African American hair in its natural state for men and women is kind of clumped up, matted, like a little tiny afro. So this Ultra Wave, they put this cream on it, would straighten out the hair and make it look like Sammy Davis Jr. or somebody like that. And they called it fried, dyed, and laid to the side. That's just the way it was then. And so you'd have this real slick, straight hair. Nat King Cole would have the hair like that.
Oh, yeah.
Count Basie, all these people, Duke Ellington, they were all like slicking their hair down because of this man.
Yeah.
And I did it too for a while. And so then from there in 1957, they had what was called Ultra Sheen, the original Ultra Sheen. First was Ultra Wave, then it became Ultra Sheen, like this here, where they put that cream in your hair, and it would burn your hair because it had like lye products in it. They had to hurry up and wash it. That's why they called it fried, dyed, and laid to the side, because of burning your scalp. And then they got more technical. 25 years later, they came out with Afro Sheen, which was a spray, and like this here. So that's kind of the history of Afro Sheen and the Johnson products, thanks to George Johnson Sr. And then, of course, when the afro fell out of favor in the African American world, they had what was called the Jerry curl, spelled J-H-E-R-I, Jerry curl, which became known as Scary curl.
And that was just kind of like a...
Yeah, they would like straighten the hair out with the stuff, and then they put the rollers in your hair.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how they got that effect, like a young Lionel Richie.
Okay.
You know how they have that... it had like a little afro, but it was like straight afro curly, and it was all
Weird.
Yeah,
shiny.
it was like back. Kind
Yeah,
of,
and they'd have long tails in the back.
Okay.
And stuff like
Was it,
that.
what was the process? I mean, because they get like rather than using that spray, they had a process that the barber would do for a lot of black people's hair.
Yeah, well,
is that they,
it was that cream. They called it. It had that lye stuff, like I said. It was like a cream, and it would literally straighten out the curls. So if you had the Kunta Kinte look, they put that on, and I shouldn't say that probably. And
You just did.
I know. And then it would straighten out your hair, and that's how all the performers of the 40s, 50s, and by the time Johnson came around to improve those products to make life easier for African American people, because when your hair is in its natural state, it is so hard to comb. Even when you run water in there, it's just like unruly and just very coarse. So that's why they came out with these products, especially Johnson. He left the world some great African American hair care products to this day, and of course they don't have the afro anymore. That's out of favor, and the jerry curl is out of favor. But in the 60s through the 80s, it was very popular. And you saw all African American people walking around patting their hair all oily and stuff.
Cool. That's fun.
Yeah, those are just fun times. And of course now everybody goes bald these days, like Michael Jordan and Charles
now
Barkley.
you just shave your head.
Yeah, you just shave your head. But anyway, yeah, George, to sum this up, George Johnson Sr., he just left the world some great products, and he is now 88 years old, still with us.
Cool.
And I'm sure he's made $1 zillion with those products.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
I'll stop right